from nothing to something. She was once just a girl, beaten and silenced by her stepfather, treated like she didn't matter. But one act of kindness changed everything. She rose from pain to power, from tears to unimaginable wealth. And one day, the same man who broke her would stand before her, trembling, while she decides if he deserves mercy or revenge. Before we continue, if this story already has your heart racing, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who loves African stories, and don't forget to click the notification button so you never miss another emotional story from African Tales by Nandu Tales Studio. The streets of Abuja were always bright, always loud, and always full of people chasing something. Big cars moved like kings on the road, their windows dark, hiding faces that did not want to be seen. Tall houses stood behind strong gates, painted in shining colors, guarded by men who did not smile. In one of those houses lived Chief Adetunji, a man so rich that people said even his shadow wore gold. He had everything money could buy: cars that purred like lions, clothes that smelled like new dreams, and a house so big that even silence got lost inside it. But his heart was tired, very tired. Every woman who came into his life loved his money, not him. They smiled too fast, laughed too loud, and spoke sweet words that felt empty. At night, when the lights were off and the house became quiet, he would sit alone and wonder if anyone would ever see him without seeing his wealth first. One evening, after sending another woman away who had asked for a new car before even asking his favorite color, Chief Adetunji made a strange decision. He stood in front of his mirror for a long time, looking at his clean face and expensive clothes. Then, slowly, he began to change. He wore old, torn clothes that smelt of dust and sun. He rubbed dirt on his skin until his rich glow disappeared. He bent his shoulders, making himself look smaller, weaker. When he was done, the man in the mirror was no longer a chief. He looked like a forgotten man, someone people would pass without seeing. And that was what he wanted. He wanted to test hearts, not eyes. He wanted to know who would be kind when there was nothing to gain. So, he left his mansion quietly and walked into the parts of Abuja that his cars had never touched. The city looked different from the ground. The roads were rough. The air carried smells of smoke and struggle. People walked fast, too busy with their own problems to notice anyone else. Chief Adetunji, now just a poor man, sat by the roadside and watched. The first woman he approached wore bright clothes and shining shoes. He greeted her softly and asked for a little help. She stopped, looked at him from head to toe, and laughed. It was a sharp laugh, like something breaking. "Go and walk," she said, waving her hand like he was a fly. She did not even wait for him to reply before walking away. Another woman came. This one frowned when she saw him. "Don't come near me," she snapped. "You smell." Others did worse. Some insulted him. Some ignored him like he was not even human. The most beautiful ones, the ones people admired the most, did not even let him speak. They turned their faces quickly, like kindness was too expensive to give. Days passed and his heart grew heavier. He began to wonder if true kindness was just a story people told children. One hot afternoon, when the sun burned the ground and even the wind felt tired, he sat near a small food stall at the edge of a quiet street. His stomach was empty, but it was not hunger that hurt him the most. It was the feeling of being unseen. That was when he saw her. She was not dressed like the other women. Her clothes were simple, clean, but old. She moved slowly, like someone who carried more than just her body. Her face was beautiful in a quiet way, not loud or proud, but her eyes were gentle, like soft rain, and there were faint scars on her arm, half hidden, like secrets she did not want the world to read. She noticed him, not the way others did, with quick judgment and cold eyes.
She looked at him properly. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Then she walked closer. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. Her voice was calm, like she was not afraid of him. Chief Adetunji blinked, surprised. No one had asked him that in days. He nodded slowly, not trusting his voice. She opened a small bag she was holding and brought out some food. Simple food, not rich or fancy. She placed it in his hands carefully, like it mattered. "Eat," she said. "You need strength." He looked at the food, then at her. "Why are you helping me?" he asked quietly. She shrugged a little, a small smile touching her lips. "Because you are human," she replied, "and humans should help each other." Her name was Zainab. They began to talk, slowly at first. She did not ask him too many questions. She did not look at him with pity or fear. She spoke to him like he was equal. That alone felt like a gift he had never received before. As the days went by, he returned to the same spot just to see her. Sometimes she brought food, sometimes they just talked. She told him small things about her life, but never everything. There was always something she held back, like a door she refused to open. But he could see it in her eyes. Pain lived there, deep, quiet pain. One evening, as the sky turned orange and the world began to slow down, he asked her gently, "Why do you always look like you are carrying something heavy?" She was silent for a long time. Then she said, "Because I am." Zainab lived in a small house that did not feel like a home. Her mother's husband ruled it like a king, but not a kind one. He spoke with anger, moved with pride, and treated Zainab like she was something he wished he could erase. He called her names, made her feel small, and sometimes worse, things she could not say out loud. Her mother saw, but fear had closed her eyes. Zainab learned to stay quiet, to hide her tears, to carry her pain like a secret stone in her chest. That was why she was gentle with others. She knew what it felt like to hurt and be ignored. Chief Adetunji listened to her story, his heart tightening with every word. He had seen many things in life, but this was different. This was pain that money could not easily fix. And yet, she was still kind, still gentle, still human. That night, as he walked back to his mansion, his mind was no longer confused. He had found what he was looking for. Not beauty, not charm, but truth. Real, quiet truth. The next day, he did not come as a poor man. He came as himself, and everything was about to change. When Zainab saw him again, she did not recognize him at first. The man standing before her wore clean, shining clothes. His posture was straight, his face confident, his presence powerful. He looked like someone the world would stop for. She frowned slightly, confused. "Can I help you?" she asked politely. Then he smiled. It was a familiar smile, soft and warm. Slowly, her eyes widened. "You," she whispered. "It's me," he said gently. "The man you gave food." She stepped back, her heart racing. She looked at him again, really looked, and the truth hit her like a sudden storm. "You lied to me," she said, her voice shaking, not with anger, but with surprise. "Yes," he admitted, "but I did it to find someone like you." He told her everything, who he was, why he did what he did, how he had searched for kindness in a world full of masks. Zainab listened quietly, her mind trying to catch up with her heart. When he finished, there was silence between them. Then he said the words that would change her life forever. "Marry me." She blinked, stunned. "What?" "Marry me," he repeated. "Not because I am rich, not because I can give you things, but because you saw me when I was nothing. And that means everything." Zainab felt fear rise inside her. This was too big, too fast, too unreal. But when she looked into his eyes, she saw honesty. Real honesty. Something she had never been given before. The wedding was quiet, but beautiful. Zainab left her old life behind and stepped into a new one that felt like a dream. The mansion that once felt empty now had laughter. The silence that used to hurt now felt peaceful. She wore fine clothes, ate good food, and slept without fear for the first time in her life. But even in her new world, she did not forget her past. The scars were still there, not just on her skin, but in her heart. She moved through her new life with grace, but also with memory. She was kind to everyone, servants, strangers, visitors. People loved her, not just for her beauty, but for her spirit.
Years passed. Zainab grew into a strong, respected woman. People spoke her name with admiration. But far away, in the same small house she had left behind, life had not been kind. Her mother's husband lost his power, his money, his pride. The house fell into ruin. Hunger replaced arrogance. The same man who once looked down on Zainab now struggled to survive. One day, with nothing left to hold on to, he made a decision. He would go to her. He would beg. It was a bright morning when they arrived at her gate, her mother, thin and tired, and the man who once ruled her life, now broken and desperate. The guards looked at them with suspicion, but when Zainab heard their names, she froze. For a moment, the past rushed back like a flood. The pain, the fear, the silence, everything. Chief Adetunji stood beside her, watching her closely. "You don't have to see them," he said softly, but Zainab shook her head. "No," she replied, "I will." They were brought inside. The moment they saw her, they fell to their knees. Tears filled their eyes. Words of regret poured out of their mouths. They begged, they cried, they called her daughter, a word that once felt like a lie. Zainab stood there, looking at them. Her face was calm, but her heart was a storm. She remembered every night she cried alone, every insult, every moment she felt worthless. The man who once made her feel like nothing was now asking her for everything. Chief Adetunji watched her, unsure of what she would do. Even the servants held their breath. This was the moment where pain could turn into revenge, or something else. Zainab took a slow step forward, then another. She looked down at them, her eyes steady, her voice quiet but strong. And then she made a choice no one expected.